Don't forget that your skin is your largest organ, and the sun can be your skin's worst enemy. Dermatologist recommended Neutrogena products offer the ultimate protection for your skin. From makeup remover wipes to Hydro Boost Water Gel Facial Moisturizer, BJ's has your entire lineup of Neutrogena skincare products. And now through December 3rd, save $4 on any Neutrogena product at BJ's. Love your skin back and save now through December 3rd, only at BJ's.
You've seen the sights on your TV. Now come and experience them in real life. Hi, it's Kristen Gates from iHeartMedia. Some of your favorite shows were filmed in Covington, Georgia. So come walk where the stars have walked from shows like The Vampire Diaries, The Dukes of Hazzard, and so many more. When you think of great stories and iconic films and TV sets, discover Covington and visit discovercovingtonga.com. That's discovercovingtonga.com. Take the tour and walk where the stars have walked in Covington, Georgia.
Times of old, in times of new, there's a guide to follow to make it true. It's the pop culture field, and you will.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Huh.
Those kicks was fast as lightning.
Huh.
In fact, it was a little bit frightening. But they fought with expert timing. Welcome, everybody.
Man.
Oh, you want to keep it going?
Okay. No, we don't have to keep it going. No, it's fine.
Oh,
it's
okay.
fine.
No,
the moment has passed.
The moment has passed. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast, sitting right at the intersection of weapons, action, the military, and, of course, pop culture. And that was as Chinese fighting voice as I could.
Pop culture.
If you didn't know by now, now you do. Today's episode is all about kung fu and martial art, fighting, pop culture, TV shows, movies, video games,
all the martial arts. Because, normally when we think of martial arts we think of, Eastern martial arts, think of the kung fu genre.
Yeah.
Like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which we might talk about. But it's all over the world, man.
Yeah. There's so many forms of martial arts. I mean, you have kung fu, you have karate, you have MMA, you have jiu-jitsu, you have,
Kenpo, you got Silat, you got everything. And then you have combinations. You have, like, we'll talk about the Metal Gear Solid Snake's CQC techniques. It's actually a combination of different stuff like Aikido and Silat and different disciplines.
And then we have what we did at Shift Fire.
Yeah. We got Krav Maga. There you go.
Yeah,
the
Israeli martial arts. So there is a lot to pick from here, folks. And I mean, not only is there a lot of different martial arts styles to pick from, but there are hundreds of martial arts pop culture pieces to pick from. Oh my gosh. Anywhere from like traditional.
Too.
Yeah, and it's evolved totally into, what's the most recent one? John Wick 4, Chapter 4, probably?
Yeah, as of this recording, yeah, man. It's like a little bit of martial arts, a little bit of gun fu.
Yeah, gung fu.
Yeah.
I'm excited, though. But this is going to be a good one, man. Before we start, though, folks, we have a quick announcement. This is going to be the last episode of Season 2. Hoorah, hooray, yippee-ki-yay.
Congratulations,
We've made
Cam.
It.
Congratulations,
congratulations, Izzy. We're over 100 episodes in. This should be, 102? Yep. But with that, we need a little bit of time here to think creatively and just kind of get a handle of what's going on. So we're going to take a quick break. But if you are a Patreon subscriber, you are still going to get access to your monthly additional episode, and even for our fuzzy privates that just get full-length episodes, we're going to give you access to that tier 2 and up episode. And for those of you listening, we're going to be releasing some of our Patreon exclusive episodes for you to check out to see, what you're missing, essentially. So if you want to join us on the Patreon, we have got a lot going on there. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, check it out.
Bit of a break for us, technically, but not really a break for all of you, because we're going to keep giving you some good content. So
yeah, so it works out for both of us.
Yeah.
But with that being said, as far as fighting, there you copy. I'm his right
I'm
now.
his right now. Oh, man. Oh, jeez.
Gotcha. You think you got me? No, never.
Turned it around on me.
I got you. But Izzy, yeah, you can take it. Go ahead, Fred.
Oh, man. I have been watching. Cam, can you remember like the first legit martial arts movie you saw? Because I know since I was a kid, you watched like maybe like, I don't know when the USA Network was a thing, old TV network. They late at night, the old kung fu movies, like the 1970s, 60s and 70s kung fu stuff. Bruce Lee, obviously, one of the first guys that exposed the world to his amazing martial arts skill. But I even remember, did you ever see, it's not necessarily all kung fu, a strictly kung fu movie, but Dragon, the Bruce Lee story with Jason Scott Lee playing Bruce Lee.
I think it's like the story of Bruce Lee, right?
Of Bruce Lee's life. Yeah.
I have seen that. Yeah.
Yep. Because he technically was an American, because I think he was born on American soil. He grew up in China, but then he came over here and made his way in the movie industry and
yeah, he was born in San Francisco.
Yeah, he taught a lot of people. Obviously, more famous students like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who fought against him in. Is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar who fought against him in Enter the Dragon, where he fights the tower, or no, Game of Death. Maybe it's Game. I think it's Game of Death. Oh gosh, you guys, you're gonna have to correct me on that one. But anyway, super cool, Bruce Lee. Watched his stuff early. Yeah, Game of Death. That was his. I think that might have been his final one, because they had to. I think he might have died during the filming of it, and then they had to do some clever cuts, basically, to like they had a different guy in the shadows playing him, to finish the movie.
Interesting, because I thought Game of Death that must have been in the pocket for a little, because I'm seeing here he died very young. Bruce Lee died at 33. Yeah,
and it was kind of the curse where his son Brandon Lee also died at 33, I think.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, because Game of Death, did it come out in 78?
You guys let us know.
Yeah, 1978. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, growing up, obviously growing up with that kind of stuff, and then you try to imitate it, and then I didn't even know. I first heard about Jackie Chan, also a legend.
Sure. That was my first exposure to kung fu, was Jackie Chan.
Was it a particular movie or something?
Oh, man, I can't remember. I wish it just hit me in the face, but no. I just know, because obviously we have the greats, like Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Jet Li.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was kind of my, Jackie Chan and Jet Li was, my era of kung fu. That's when they were, huge. Actually, I have one movie on my list that I'm really excited to talk about, because I love this movie, because it has both of them in it. It's kind of an awesome flick. But as far as first movies that exposed me, this one's kind of silly, but for some reason this is the one that sticks in my head the most. Kung Pao, Enter the Fist.
Oh, no kidding, man.
Yeah, that was
so
the first traditional. Well, I mean, obviously it's a spoof of traditional martial arts movies, but that was the first one that I ever saw. I'm pretty sure.
That's funny. I love Kung Pao Enter the Fist, because it's what is it? Steve Odenkirk.
That's a lot of nuts.
Where he basically superimposes himself into another movie.
Yeah.
Steve Odenkirk. Yeah, Steve Odenkirk, not Bob Odenkirk, but and he's the guy who did all the Thumb Wars, the Thumb movies, and the
I didn't even know.
Yeah, Jim Carrey's Ace Ventura movies. He's like a goofball director. So of course it shows up in this movie, but he inserts himself into another movie digitally, and then he kind of adds scenes to kind of fill out the story.
Yeah. And then he dubs over everybody.
He dubs
with
over all
these
the
silly
voices.
voices.
Dude, this
Chosen
movie.
one.
Chosen. You should be able to beat him now. So good, man.
Yes.
Your
shirt is blue now.
Your shirt is another paralyzer. Open your mouth.
Yeah,
the tongue with another face on it. It's just so ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous and over the top, but it still features kung fu. It still features all the martial arts. To me, it's still in that genre, but it just has comedy attached to it. That's the one that I remember.
So I'm so glad you chose this one as the kicker to start us off, man. Well, if we're gonna start off comedy, have you ever seen Kung Fu Hustle?
I have. That has a really famous scene when he's like fighting all the guys with the axes, the Axe Gang, right, or something like that.
Yeah, the Axe Gang. Yeah. It has a bunch of great fight scenes in it. It's kind of like that, and it's kind of in the era of China where it was like the westernization of China, like they were letting kind of Western nations in, and things were changing. That might have even been around the time of the Ip Man, the Donnie Yen movies, Ip Man. But really, it's the perfect blend of the comedy, the slapstick type comedy. Stephen Chow, I think, is the guy who started and directed it. But then also really good kung fu, you know?
Yeah. And this was like that style where they're on the wires, right? They could like jump.
It's
kung
like
fu,
Yen Wu
they could
Ping
like jump
style, like
super far and do like the whole
exactly.
crane pose and everything.
Yeah, it's the kind of like the high, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon era where it's just the highfalutin. You know, everybody. If you knew kung fu, you basically had like superpowers. It's like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Before Marvel came in with superheroes. Anybody who knew kung fu was a superhero. But I love kung fu. So I like kung fu also because it actually turns. It's this weird kind of genre bending. This genre bending moment where it's fun, it's funny, but then it also kind of has kind of a heart at the end. And there's some cool, funny, like story moments with the main character where he's like a loser, but then it turns out that he has like the secret energy, the chi inside himself to become the greatest martial arts master of all time. And then he gets it unlocked by getting attacked and totally just beaten to a pulp by the main bad guy, the frog who does the frog style kung fu. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but it's done really well. I'd like to go back and watch it again because there was a lot of CGI in it. And sometimes you go back and you watch a movie that has heavy CGI and sometimes it holds up well and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, like Blade 3.
Yeah. Blade 3.
Oh, speaking of martial arts. Yeah, there you go.
No, we can't say that's a martial arts movie. That's a vampire movie.
That's a vampire movie. Different genre.
Vampire series. That's right.
The vampires just happen to do martial arts.
What? Yeah, it's funny. I guess you there's a lot of cross-genre pollination, but I don't know if we should have to define what a martial arts movie is. Is it one
I think any movie that uses like traditional karate in it.
But also there's like, you know, not Western martial arts, but Western martial arts movies like Under Siege. You got Sidekicks. We got Extraction. I guess Extraction isn't necessarily a martial arts movie. It's more of an action movie. I have that on here, but now that I think about it, it has martial arts action in it, but it's a little bit different than your traditional strictly martial arts movie.
Yeah, no, I got you. I mean, I would consider it in my definition of martial arts, like I think martial arts is more of a subgenre than an actual like full genre of movies. Just because there's a lot, like, would you consider John Wick 4 a martial arts movie? Like to me, that's an action movie,
right? I'd call that an action movie too.
Well, what's one? Do you know which one I actually just watched before this? Like finished 30 minutes before we hopped on this podcast.
What's that?
And it's great. We've talked about it a lot, but I don't think I've actually like seen it. But Raid Redemption.
Oh my gosh, you had not seen this all the way through?
No, I just finished watching it. Amazing.
So good. That's one of those revolutionary ones where you have a certain standard or a certain perception of action movies, and then this one comes along, and it just blows that stuff out of the water.
I just can't believe it's a foreign film too. It's an Indonesian film.
Yeah,
and
American director, I think. Too,
okay.
Though.
Yeah, but the martial arts in this movie are absolutely ridiculous. Came out in 2011, and I know we've talked about this, so we'll be really quick. But dude, I don't even. I'm speechless. It was so good. Like the fight sequences were so well put together.
Yep.
Yeah, and there was like I didn't feel that entire movie that one punch was like fake thrown. Like they didn't pull any punches during it, and
nothing was really redundant. Nothing.
No,
everything was
all
fresh. Every fight scene had some fresh take on it.
Yeah.
And a solid story, like a solid, self-contained, very simple and well-made story. You have, good characters. Everyone's got a clear motive. There's a bit of intrigue in there. There's a few surprises in there at the end when you find out that his brother is a part of the gang, and then he ends up helping him get out. And there's a bit of a double cross when it comes to the police chief who goes in with him.
Yeah, the lieutenant.
The lieutenant,
Yeah. Oh, just an all-around great movie. Like, good, like you said, they don't really waste time telling you. It's kind of like it's pretty much like the Indonesian John Wick, and essentially. Like, they don't waste time telling you, like, the story or useless information. You can pick it up yourself, but, like, they just focus on the fight sequences. And, like, that scene when they originally get stuck in the room and they start axing through the floor.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, my God. And then my favorite scene, though, is when that really famous Indonesian martial artist who plays, like, the bad guy's right-hand man.
Yeah, Yayan Ruyan. He plays Mad Dog, the short dude.
Yeah, the short guy. And he always puts the gun away, and he's like, pulling a trigger is like ordering takeout. And then he's like, this is what it's all about. And he makes the fists.
He's like, this is me. This is what I like.
This is me. And then he fights both of them at the end. And man, he kicks the crap out of them.
Yeah.
It's good.
Both of those fight scenes with him are amazing because the one dude, it's like he fights him till the dude's like totally exhausted and then he breaks his neck. And then later Iku Uwai sees him dragging his dead body and that like gives him like the motivation. Yeah, and then at the end the two brothers have to, even combined, they barely win.
The only way they won is sneak attack.
Yeah.
And he's still fighting them with like that light bulb sticking out of his neck. Yeah, it was really But great movie. I'm glad I took the time to sit down and watch it because I was so tired of listening to you talk about it. I was like, I need to experience this one.
That's the only way to experience it. Don't get somebody to talk about it. You got to watch it for yourself.
Exactly. That's why I'm going to go watch Life.
No, don't do it, Cameron. Oh.
Well, you name one, man. Let's hear.
We have such the problem with an episode like this is we could have an entire podcast just devoted to martial arts movies, and there probably is one out there. And kudos to you guys because literally hundreds of films from every kind of sub genre, whether it's kung fu films, like actual like Eastern kung fu films, or it's American action films. But you know what, man? It's troubling. I have to. Let me just do. Why don't we do this? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, because that was another one of those martial arts films that there's like my standard of martial arts films got blown out of the water when I saw Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, because this really kind of ushered in. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you guys can correct me on this, but it ushered in this age of like 4 or 5 years worth of Yen Wu Ping style action scenes. Like even in like, they had a Three Musketeers movie later on that was choreographed by Yen Wu Ping stunt team. And I don't know when The Matrix actually came out just before that. So maybe it was The Matrix that really kind of started it going, but Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon in the style of the classic period piece Chinese action film. It's like, I don't know, ancient China rather. And Chow Yun-fat, Michelle Yeoh is in it. Such a great cast and it's like drama too. There's like a kind of a partial like old flame relationship between Michelle Yeoh and Chow Yun-fat. There's a young princess who's in love with like a bandit, and then it turns out that she's associated with this thief called Jade Fox, and there's a sword. I think
I've seen this one, dude. I'm staring at pictures and I'm like trying to remember so bad.
Oh man, it's so beautiful the way that it gets going, and when they start doing that, like it totally gives itself to the fantasy realm because they're flying around. They're literally like flying through the trees, and
they're like tiptoeing over like little bamboo pipes, right?
Exactly. Yeah, they're swinging out, like they're tiptoeing across lakes and waters and flying up and down, and Chow Yun-fat is like this old master, Li Mubai, and he's kind of had a love affair with Michelle Yeoh's character, but they kind of keep their distance because he's a monk. She wants to honor his beliefs and stuff. Zhang Ziyi had a big run too. She was a big action star, a big star for a long time too. She's the young princess, and it's just got a lot going on. So it's a full-fledged film. It's long. I think it's just, man, about over 2 hours long. 120 minutes. Yeah, just about 2 hours long, and Ang Lee directed it. I love that. I love this movie because it blew me away. The action scenes really blew me away. And even though I'd seen stuff like this before, I'd seen a fair amount of Jackie Chan stuff, kind of some old school things, the way that it all came together. I mean, other than maybe wire removal for the stunt actors, a lot of it seemed pretty practical, like they were on real sets, not a lot of CGI. But really good. It had me in tears at the end too, you know. Poor Chow Yun-fat kind of sacrifices, he finds Jade Fox, their lair, the evil thief lady, and they get into a fight, and he totally destroys the Green Destiny sword. But then he gets like a poison dart in his neck, and it's one that's gonna kill him after a time. And Zhang Ziyi tries to go, you know, it's kind of her fault. Her petulance and her insubordination kind of get everybody in trouble. And then she tries to redeem herself by getting the antidote to the poison, but she's too late. Michelle Yeoh has to watch him die. But yeah, super great. Every action scene, really unique, and really fresh. And Michelle Yeoh, I got to hand it to Michelle Yeoh. Just a little side note about her. I was going through this list and I realized like she's been around for decades, man. She's been doing action movies. Like there was Super Cop is another one. When I talk about Jackie Chan stuff, that was back in maybe that was more 80s and 90s, but she's been around forever. So, and then she just, you know, did she win the Oscar for Best Actress for Everything Everywhere All at Once? But that was another big one. And that was just last year that she did that. So she's still in the game. She was in that. She's on Star Trek. So hats off to Michelle Yeoh. She has been, and she's actually not Chinese. Somebody told me this. She's actually Malaysian.
Interesting.
Yeah, as I get one of my moderators is out of Malaysia on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/myhappyself. And he says, oh yeah, no, she's Malaysian. She's not Chinese.
Man,
so
she's still kicking it, dude.
Yeah, literally.
She did Shang-Chi. Yeah, just like Everything Everywhere All at Once, like you just said.
Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, no, she's in there. She's doing it big.
Doing it all for her. Yeah. So Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon has to go on this list for me, even though there's just too many. There's too many to list.
Yeah, there's so many here. Because as you keep talking, more and more come piling in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we could talk about, Power Rangers. We could talk about
gosh.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about the Karate Kid sequence. We could talk about Cobra Kai. Like that entire franchise like just keeps popping in my head.
Cobra Kai
for some reason, it's like during the 80s they were so strong with like Karate Kid, and martial arts were like the cool thing to do. That and was a
lot of 80s action stars too. They get like Cynthia Rothrock and a lot of these other American martial arts stars, you know?
Yeah, no, and then you have like the whole subgenre of B movies that are all about martial arts. What is it called? With that one African American actor, he's really famous for like martial arts. Let's see. There's like that famous
Michael
scene.
Jai White?
Maybe.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/cocktail. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/cocktail.
Don't forget that your skin is your largest organ, and the sun can be your skin's worst enemy. Dermatologist recommended Neutrogena products offer the ultimate protection for your skin. From makeup remover wipes to Hydro Boost Water Gel Facial Moisturizer, BJ's has your entire lineup of Neutrogena skincare products. And now through December 3rd, save $4 on any Neutrogena product at BJ's. Love your skin back and save now through December 3rd, only at BJ's.
Cynthia Rothrock.
Yeah, Michael Jai White. You got it. With the whole Never Back Down. And like even Spawn, the original Spawn, has a bunch of martial arts in it.
Yeah.
And
Michael Jai White was in that one, I think.
Yeah, no, he's the main guy. Yeah, but
Steven
the whole Never Back
Seagal.
Down B movie like scenes or subgenre, like martial arts go way, way back. I mean, do you want to take a break and just talk about our personal connection to martial arts? Do you have any?
Man, I mean, one thing I can talk about is the stuff that they taught us in the military. Was mostly Brazilian jiu-jitsu. That was kind of the main thing. There was a little bit of Aikido in there with like joint locks and throws, but it was mostly stuff that presumably you could do with body armor and a helmet on. It's not a lot of like chop, like punch, kick punch kind of things. But I have a little, the only personal connection I have is I took a couple of weeks worth of Aikido, early 2000s. And then I took about a month worth of Shaolin Kung Fu, which was awesome, which if I had any maturity back in college when I was a freshman, I found out about it. It was out in Greeley, Colorado, of all places. But I was like, Shaolin Kung Fu, and this is like every dream I ever had of growing up watching martial arts movies.
Yeah.
But that's about it, man. I never really took martial arts to any great degree. What about you?
For me, growing up, before I danced, I did karate.
Karate, like strict karate?
Well, the place I went was called United Studios of Self-Defense. So they kind of taught like, I don't even know what they to me, it was just karate, right? But like I'd go to tournaments and like participate in like sparring tournaments, and I'd do kata tournaments where you would like, well, actually, I think it was while I danced, because the kata was really similar to dancing. It was like, the fighting style that was done in sequence, and it was like, moving around, and it was basically a choreographed routine. So I was actually really good at it. Every time I competed, I got first place in the kata. And then I went to like 4 different tournaments growing up, and I remember I got first prize, or I took first place in sparring and in kata in 3 of them, and then one of them was just a fluke. I like completely lost.
Wow,
it
man.
broke me because I was like, I'm a champion, baby. I'm a fucking champion. And then I got like 4th place, and I was like, this is rigged. But I did that growing up, and then same with you with the Army. Like we did MACP and SOCP in SOCP Special Operations Combatives Program, and then MACP is Modern Army Combatives Program. But just like you said, it's a lot of grappling, things you could do with kit, with a lot of strikes with your weapon, a lot of no punching, but mainly kicks and just creating distance. But yeah, most of my martial arts experience was when I was a kid and just going to karate classes and competing. But that's about it for me. I really find myself wanting to get into jiu-jitsu, just because I think it's a good skill. First of all, I think jiu-jitsu is the best martial arts form of them all.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's superior to everything. Because when MMA first came out, like when the UFC first came out, there was no gloves. It was all just like they would get people from different styles and just put them in a ring and see who would win.
Yeah, I remember.
And jiu-jitsu won every single time. Like I think it was Gracie. Was it Gracie who like would wear the gi in the arena and he would just choke everybody out? And like it's a proven martial arts.
Yeah.
So I really want to get into jiu-jitsu, not only for the exercise, but I think, if you're always trying to get better at something, like whether it's trying to be a better like provider or protector of your household, you get a firearm, you learn how to use it. But like, to me, that's not good enough. You should also be competent at protecting yourself when you don't have a firearm on you. And you can't rely on the gun. So that's why it's like, in my opinion, like not only should you be a proficient shooter, but you should be in great shape And then you should also be proficient at protecting yourself with your hands. So for me, I don't think, like, I know the basics, but I don't consider myself competent. So I want to find like a really good gym and just, do and roll around a little bit, because it's great exercise, but also you're learning a great skill.
Yeah, man. And they say, what do they say? Most fist fights end up on the ground anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
Guess who, what famous person am I thinking of that also does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Cameron?
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, you got it, man. He's into the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's pretty good too.
Yeah, no, I think he's like a blue belt or something.
Yeah, good for him. Yeah, I'm looking at.
Yeah, no, he gets after it. Yeah, there's a couple videos of him circulating the online space right now, and he's actually really good. Yeah,
I love it, man.
Yeah, but anyways, I think that's good for our break here. You want to go back to naming a couple flicks before we switch over to our game here?
I got to talk about one that it's actually. I got to mention it because it's just so amazing, but it's not the entire movie. I can't really remember a whole lot about, but there is a fight scene from a 1984 Kung Fu movie called Wheels on Meals. It's Jackie Chan.
On Meals?
Yeah, Jackie Chan. And then he's a Sammo Hung, who actually had a bit of a career. He had martial law. He had a television show where it was a Kung Fu action, a bit of a Walker Texas Ranger thing, but they all kind of came up together in action movies in China. It was called Wheels on Meals, and it's this kind of convoluted story where there's like somebody who gets kidnapped and they go after her. They end up fighting in a castle, but there's three of them: Yun Bu, Jackie Chan, and Sammo Hung. All three cool martial artists, all had their own kind of success in their own way. I think Jackie Chan was probably the biggest one, but I think it might be my favorite Kung Fu fight of all time. My favorite fight scene, period.
Wow.
Between him and Benny the Jet Urquidez, who was another martial artist who had a great career. And it's him in this, they're like in this castle room and stuff, and it kind of rages all over. It's kind of hard for me to do it justice talking about it, but if you are listening to this and you want to see what I mean, just type in Wheels on Meals fight scene or Wheels on Meals Jackie Chan, because it's the most famous fight scene from the entire movie. Because they're just both so fast, and the levels that they go to, like they're down on the ground, they get up, they're all over, they're going over furniture and underneath, and like it rages all over, and it's just so well choreographed. It's also funny too, there's like some good like slapstick humor, and because Jackie Chan, he grew up doing Chinese circus, I think, from like a young age, and he's always done his own stunts. So both of them are just it's unbelievable. So Wheels on Meals is one of like Jackie Chan's, I think it's probably maybe his greatest fight scene, in my opinion. I know that there's like a lot of movies of his that I haven't seen. I've never seen the Drunken Master series, but I've seen a lot of them. I had kind of a Jackie Chan greatest hits kick back in like 7th or 8th grade. It's like all I would watch Jackie Chan movies, but even then I didn't get to see all the ones that he'd done. And the song, there's that song, if you know, the main theme song, it's in the fight scene too. It's like this pump up, like totally 80s pump up rock song that I just love. Anyway, that's one. If I had to say, if I only had one more choice in the episode today, that would be, you got to go watch that fight scene, man. It's just,
I'm
it
watching
pumps you up
as you speak.
I'm telling you, man, I could go
it's
on
good.
and on.
It's really good.
Oh, it's amazing, man. And so, well, if you're watching, all right, I guess, while Cameron's watching this, I'm going to give you some of Jackie Chan's greatest hits. Because there really was, I remember seeing, the first time I heard about Jackie Chan was when he got a Lifetime Achievement Award at the MTV Movie Awards. It was crazy. I'm like, who? He's getting a Lifetime Achievement Award? I don't even know who this guy is. Like, who's Jackie Chan? It's before the internet was popular. So I saw this, and I saw it showed scenes from A Rumble in the Bronx and Police Story and Wheels on Meals. And I'm like, I went down to my local video rental store, which was a thing back then when I was a kid. Back before the internet, you could just get movies online. But Wheels on Meals, Super Cop, Armor of God, even his later stuff like Who Am I? There's just some such amazing. This dude did it all. Like, and out of all of those, that fight scene between him and Benny the Jet Urquidez, I don't know. It just blows me away because I don't think anybody was faster, and they were both at the top of their game at the time. And Bolo Young's Bolo Young. Benedict Urquidez is this real stocky dude. He looks like a weightlifter. And Jackie Chan is this real lean dude. And it's pretty amazing.
It is. They're so, like you said, they're so fast, and like they commit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man.
Like,
yeah, it's back when, before they had a lot of like safety, safety regulations, things like that,
yeah, like wow, like when they kick each other in the chest and like fall to the ground, like they are straight falling to the ground. This is a great scene.
They're so quick too. Some of the stuff you have to you don't register because they're so fast. You're like, did he just punch that guy?
Yeah.
Did he just
and it's not
go
like
for the punch?
It's one punch. They threw like 3 punches in one sequence, and you're like, what just happened?
Yeah,
wow,
it's so
great.
controlled too. A lot of their stuff. It's not like you're watching a real fight, but you watch it because it's so beautiful to watch. It's so well choreographed.
I guess that's why it's called martial arts.
Martial arts. That's the art thing in this.
The art.
If you ever watch any of Jackie Chan's movies, the best part for some of them is the end when they show the outtakes and the stunts, like before they got the stunt clip, the take they wanted, all of the times where Jackie Chan got messed up. There was even one in Rumble in the Bronx. There's a scene where he's supposed to jump from a bridge onto a moving hovercraft. And when he does it the first time, you can see he rolls his ankle. And then he's like, it shows him later, he's got a cast on and he puts a fake sock on a fake sock on over the cast where it looks like a shoe. And he just goes back to filming. Like he's filming like a couple weeks later because like it's his movie and he can't stop production. But that guy, if there's anybody that's put his body through, through more punishment throughout the course of his lifetime, like I hope he, eats right and gets lots of exercise and sleep and a lot of water and stuff. Because Jackie Chan has really punished his body for decades. It's pretty amazing.
That probably is my favorite part of Jackie Chan movies when you watch Rush Hour and they show you the end and it's just all the cuts of them like messing up.
Yep.
That is literally what I watch Jackie Chan movies for, because like the scenes are great, but like how he does them himself in like real time are amazing. Like sometimes when they have like a ladder and it's standing up and he like jumps through the hoop of a ladder.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Like it's absolutely unbelievable. But yeah, man, that's so good. That scene was so good. I'm glad you brought, because I've actually never even heard of Wheels on Meals before. And
it's
now
so
I'm actually going to go watch the entire thing.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like your average kind of overall like storyline stuff, but that fight scene in particular, I just watch it over and over again. It's awesome. Amazing,
Well, since we're getting low on time, what about some video games, man? Because there was obviously the Mortal Kombat series. You mentioned Metal Gear series with Snake's CQC techniques. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, what I love about the Metal Gear series as it progresses is that they emphasize the CQC as close quarters combat techniques. And it's actually a combination of a couple of different things. But it's legit techniques like judo and aikido, Filipino kind of silat type stuff, disarming knives and chokeholds and throws, joint locks and things like that. Because I feel like they try to emphasize Snake's character where he's not just going to go in shooting if he doesn't have to, but he'll like go in and control the dude and try to subdue the characters without killing them. I think in the Metal Gear Solid especially, they give you the option. You don't necessarily have to kill a lot of people, except maybe in boss fights and the like. But in the Metal Gear Solid series, especially like Guns of the Patriots, and then I think maybe more so in the Phantom Pain, they emphasize those techniques, and I just appreciate it because it's from real martial arts, And just growing up being a gamer, man, back when there used to be arcades where you actually had to go to a separate building from your home and use quarters to play video games. There's old stuff like Kung Fu Master, I used to think it was Legend of Cage, but it was probably, now that I'm older, probably the Legend of Kage.
Might be, yeah.
Where you're jumping all around. You got this cool like ninja outfit on, but you're not like wearing all black. And then of course the classic Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden series has been around forever, even from the early days in the arcades. And then of course my favorite iteration of it was for the Nintendo Entertainment System, back in the day, the side-scrolling platformer where you could like get special abilities. You had like the cool sword that you could whip out there. The bear arms Ninja Gaiden outfit where you could show off his muscly arms. So many great martial arts games. It's not surprising that I'm as big a fan as I am because I've been exposed to it my entire life since childhood. You have too as well. But martial arts has been around, man, it's all over the place, man. Here in America, at least, very popular. Very popular.
I don't think it's going to go anywhere, too, because not only is martial arts like a self-defense technique, but it's also like, an inner self spirituality kind of calming practice.
Discipline, yep.
Like, yeah, it's about discipline. It's physical fitness. It encompasses a lot of different things because obviously, if you throw a karate master in the ring with an MMA fighter, the MMA fighter is probably going to whoop the shit out of him. But ask me who lives a better lifestyle, probably the karate guy. He's like at inner peace with himself. So It's like apples and oranges here. But I think martial arts will continue and forever be around, not only in pop culture, but in general. And I would be okay if my kids were like, hey, Dad, I want to sign up for karate. And I'm like, totally. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Let's break some boards. You want to go in the garage and do some karate?
Now, let me ask you this. We're going to transition to our game. We don't necessarily have a fan question right now, but let me ask you if you could get your kids, to be dedicated to one martial art form, which one do you think you would want them to do?
Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, probably. Most well-rounded. Plus, if I have daughters, like, let's be honest, like in a stand-up fight against a male, like it's not going to be as fair, but on the ground, like I've noticed, because I'm a smaller guy, but with jiu-jitsu, like it doesn't necessarily matter how big you are, but your technique is all that really matters, and technique and speed. So yeah, if I have daughters, definitely putting them in jiu-jitsu so they can really learn how to protect themselves. What about you? What's yours?
It's kind of hard to argue with that logic, especially if you have kids that you want them to, grow up knowing how to defend themselves. I suppose I could teach them how to shoot and be on the range and stuff, but I kind of would love to see him do Shaolin Kung Fu.
That'd be sick.
It's a beautiful art form, or like wushu, like more athletic, more artistic based than it is like practical applications.
Sure.
Maybe if you're a black belt or a master, you might be able to use it in a real street fight. But if I wanted real hardcore, maybe just like kickboxing, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's great
it's
too.
Punches and kicks, and maybe say, hey, when you're in college, take some Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's good, man. Well, let's transfer, or let's get going on this game here, and I am the game master here.
Oh no.
Well, how the tables have turned. Last week you were the game master, but this week I am in charge. And I have a doozy of a game for you. These are Chris's words. This one is called Bruce Norris, the Chuck Lee Story. I'm going to give you the name of a movie, and you have to tell me if it was Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, or both. Good luck.
Okay. Ooh, okay. This is exciting because I definitely know there's got to be one in here where it's both, because I know that they appeared in a movie together. I forget what the name was, but there's kind of a famous thing because they both respected each other and they appeared in this movie together. So
then you must be ready.
Oh yeah, I am ready.
Okay. First
my
of all,
mind and my body are one.
Perfect. Always starting out with the warm-up, and this one should be easy because we talked about it. Sidekicks.
Norris. Absolutely. Yes.
It
That's burned into my
Chuck
psyche,
Norris.
Into my heart. Hey, rip Jonathan Brandis, guys.
Jonathan Brandis, tragic tale of what childhood fame does to you. Okay, here we go. Going into the actual ones. Are you ready, good sir?
Let's do it.
Okay. Kumite. The Big Boss.
The Big Boss. Man, I think they featured this in Dragon the Bruce Lee Story. But I'm going to say Bruce Lee, because this is one of the first movies that I think it was one of his first big films.
And you were correct. It was indeed Bruce Lee.
Hey.
There you go. And can I answer the rest of your questions? Probably not. I'm just here reading the thing.
I think that's what there's a part in Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, where it's like his first big premiere, and the movie ends, and they're like, nobody's clapping. It's just silent. He's like, let's get out of here. And then as they're trying to sneak out of the theater, everybody starts clapping, and they go and they find him and they lift him up, and they're like, yeah, you're amazing.
Yeah, you're great. Okay, awesome. Fist of Fury.
Fist of Fury. Golly, I feel in my memory bank somewhere that's associated with Bruce Lee. So why don't we just say Fist of Fury? Or why don't we just say Bruce Lee?
I'm glad you said Bruce Lee and not Fist of Fury, because it is Bruce Lee.
Okay. Fist of Fury starring Fist of Fury.
Yeah, Fist of Fury about Fist of Fury starring Fist of Fury.
The Fist of Fury story.
The Fist of Fury story. Perfect. Well, that's good, man. You're doing great. You're 3 for 3. Let's see if you can keep it up. Next one is The Hitman.
The Hitman?
The Hitman.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like a very honorable title. I feel like Bruce Lee runs with better class of people than that. I'm going to say Chuck Norris, The Hitman.
That's honestly the most logical thinking I've ever heard. And you were 100% correct. It is indeed Chuck Norris.
Okay, cool. All right.
Keep
This is
thinking
like
that.
more hardcore American style. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that might help you a lot if you think like that in this game. Just being honest. Okay, moving on. Doing really good. 4 for 4. Way of the Dragon.
The Way of the Dragon. I mean, it's got, I hate to be stereotypical, but it's got the word dragon in it. So I'm going to have to say Bruce Lee.
And you'd be half right. It actually has both of them. I think this is the one that Way of the Dragons where they fight each other.
Yeah, they fight each other. It's a really good fight scene too.
Yeah.
It's great to see two martial artists at the top of their game. So, okay, all right. I'll take half the point because I knew it was going to be in there somewhere.
Yeah, it would be. And it got your ass, but that's okay because you're doing really good. You're doing really good so far. And let's see if you can keep it up. Okay. An eye for an eye.
Ooh, that's tough because, you know, there are revenge tales in Eastern martial arts movies. Eye for an eye, I'm going to have to say Chuck Norris because it seems pretty 1980s action style, and that was at the height of his career. So I'm going to say Chuck Norris.
I'm going to say, good job. You are correct.
Hey,
it is indeed Chuck Norris.
Right,
okay, you got 2 left here. Let's see if you can finish it strong.
Oh, man.
You mentioned this one, but let's see if you know a lot about it. Game of Death.
Oh, Game of Death. Definitely Bruce Lee. I think it was his last movie. In fact, I think he died before they finished it because they had to film extra parts with his stunt double or an extra, or, you know, like a lookalike or whatever to finish actually filming. And it's the one where he fights Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It's like he goes progressively up this tower, and each one is a different bad guy. So definitely Bruce Lee.
You'd be half right.
What?
Chuck Norris is in Game of Death as well.
He's in Game of Death too? Oh, that I did not know. That's news to me.
Okay. I mean, we can confirm, but that's what Chris says.
Wow. Well, I guess between the two of those two questions, I'm either have one full one wrong or one full one right.
Oh yeah, he is right. Game of Death. It might have been, I don't know when Chuck Norris was like huge, but it just says he's a fighter.
Huh, interesting.
That is interesting.
All
but
right,
okay,
well,
so you got half of that one. So basically you're down 1 because you got 2 half points. So you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 out of 8, doing really well. Let's see if you can end it on a good note. This last one is Marlowe.
Marlowe? That doesn't sound like anything either of them would be in. Marlowe just sounds like very not anything to do with China or Chinese or anything. Marlowe, huh? Marlowe. Man, it might be a trick question, but I'm just going to go with Chuck Norris because it just sounds like a very American kind of name, Marlowe. Marlowe Spicoli from Italy? No, I don't know.
Ooh. It got you. It is a Bruce Lee movie, 1969.
Marlowe. Oh my god.
Marlowe. Yeah, I had to Google it too because I was like, what? Is this even a martial artist movie?
Gee whiz. Okay, Marlowe.
Crazy. He has 2 scenes in it.
Oh, okay. So he's not the main guy, but he's definitely. It's definitely Green Hornet style. Like he's in it,
Sure.
but he's not the main character.
Yeah, he has 2 scenes in it.
That's funny. Good
Nice
old
one, Chris. Way to get him. Way to
got
twist
me.
his arm on that one.
You got me, Chris. Good job. Fair play to the Chris.
Fair play to the Chris, as always. Well, that's it, man. You did awesome. You got 7 out of 9 correct. Way better than my ass last week. So
I'll take
good
it.
on you.
Thanks, Chris. That was amazing, man. Thank you for the great game. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this amazing episode. We really appreciate it. We hope that you had a good time. And we will be in touch. We will see you very soon. It'll be a much shorter wait for you than it will be for us. But don't worry, we're going to be thinking about ways that we can improve the podcast experience, the ways that we can improve our Patreon experience for all our wonderful patrons. So definitely come and join us on the Patreon. You are definitely going to get some great content, even on our break. But yeah, folks, we love doing this. We love you. And Cameron, I love you.
I love you too, buddy.
Yep.
Cue music.
What's going on, everybody? You just listened to the free version of the PCFM podcast. If you want full-length versions of podcast episodes, plus much, much more, head on over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/PCFM podcast.
That is right, Israel. If you want access to this full episode, you have to subscribe to the Fuzzy Private tier, which is our cheapest tier on Patreon at $5 a month. But if you are interested in a little bit more, we also have the Salty Sergeant tier at $8 a month and the Lifer tier at $12 a month. So hopefully we will see you there, PCFM family. Cue music.
Don't forget that your skin is your largest organ, and the sun can be your skin's worst enemy. Dermatologist recommended Neutrogena products offer the ultimate protection for your skin. From makeup remover wipes to Hydro Boost Water Gel Facial Moisturizer, BJ's has your entire lineup of Neutrogena skincare products. And now through December 3rd, save $4 on any Neutrogena product at BJ's. Love your skin back and save now through December 3rd, only at BJ's.
You've seen the sights on your TV. Now come and experience them in real life. Hi, it's Kristen Gates from iHeartMedia. Some of your favorite shows were filmed in Covington, Georgia. So come walk where the stars have walked from shows like The Vampire Diaries, The Dukes of Hazzard, and so many more. When you think of great stories and iconic films and TV sets, discover Covington and visit discovercovingtonga.com. That's discovercovingtonga.com. Take the tour and walk where the stars have walked in Covington, Georgia.